comes. this change things? Does not. There we go. Okay. So, Steelers won. You're good to go. See you next time. Obviously not. I think I'm funny. Let me turn the music down a little bit. Okay. Man, this game gave me a heart attack. Oh, Jesus. Steelers came out of the gate strong in this one. Ravens came out of the gate a lot stronger. Leading up, all I've heard for the last week, actually 2 weeks, people were talking about this before the Titans game, was that Pittsburgh hadn't really played a good team yet. And I had to think to myself, you know what? They're kind of right. Who did we play? The Browns? Back when they were shittier? Nah, that wasn't a good team. Who else did we play? Who else did we play? The Giants. Oh, and we played the Broncos and the Eagles and the Texans. None of them are good teams, honestly. So, can't think to myself, maybe they're right. Then we beat the Titans, and I'm like, nope, we're the best team in the NFL. Then I watch the Chiefs play, and I'm like, okay, we're the second best team in the NFL. So leading up to this game, all I fucking heard is how good the fucking Ravens are, and how we can win, but we're going to have to stop their running game completely, or we don't have a chance. Well, that's funny you should say that. So we open up the game, we kick it off. We give the ball to Baltimore. We choose to defer. Always the right decision in my book. We give it to them. Baltimore comes out of the gate, they run it. I think they got they got 4 yards. They threw a pass, it was an incompletion. Then Lamar Jackson rolls back, throws it, and this happens.
The Steelers, and they've got an interception and a run back all the way home. It's Spillane with the touchdown on the pick six. Wow, what a start for Pittsburgh.
Talked about the internal pressure. Vince Williams comes in. Lamar tries to look off, but Spillane reads his eyes and just takes it. Wow, what a start for Pittsburgh.
It comes.
So, that's cool. The Robert Spillane story. Man, that guy came out of nowhere and played moderate to better than average football. As everybody who watches football is probably aware, Bud Dupree tore his ACL. He's out for the season. And everybody panics. You lose what is definitely at least a top 10 middle linebacker and the active vocal leader of your defense. Whenever your defense is playing like it is, especially a guy with the physical skills Dupree has, you're going to worry. This dude is fucking fast, right? Dude, nobody's really heard of. comes up in the Browns game and plays pretty well, honestly. Played half the game. And we never really heard about him getting beaten or giving anything up. He played well. Against the Titans, he just stood up to Derrick Henry, man to man, and beat him in that matchup. He got injured on the play, but Derrick Henry has 25 pounds of muscle on him, and he's Derrick fucking Henry. So that means in my book, Spillane won. This week, and you know, he played okay in that game, but honestly, I think he was actually the guy mostly covering Fulgham, or not Fulgham, I'm sorry, shit. Whoever Tennessee's tight end was. Dude was wrecking us in the into that game. I don't know that it was Spillane, but it might have been. If it was, then yeah. Not super great in coverage in that game. This week, though, Spillane did very well on this game as a whole, except for 2 plays in the first quarter. I think in the first quarter. One of them might have been in the second, where he just got beat bad. And it seemed to be more of a inexperienced thing. He's still, 24? And he's only been in the league for 1 season. So he's still very young. Anyway, that happened. We go up 7. I'm talking to my buddy, and I'm like, dude, that's cool, but 7 points in this game isn't going to mean shit. So, that's right here. 9 plays later, Lamar Jackson. Look at this. 14 yards, 4 yards, 16 yards, 4 yards, penalty, 34 yards, 3 yards, touchdown. Like, they just blasted us. And to be clear, we played okay. We had to stop, and then they busted one out. And then we got a penalty, and they went further. Next play, decent run, but we stopped them. Then they got a penalty. Then Lamar Jackson does this.
The rules are easy for the players, but yet they can be exotic.
2nd and 11. Stepping up and firing.
Just, this is the play I'm talking about, where Spillane just got beat. You'll see it whenever the play replays right here. Spillane just... Where's it at? Can you see? Yeah, so right here. Spillane and Sneed. Is there a slow motion? Playback, speed, no. So he turned around and just tripped him up. And he had to run him down. Somehow he did. So good play, but yeah, he got double moved and moved it right on us. So they do that, and then they come down here and they score a touchdown. Is it this one, or is this the one I just watched? No, it's not this one. Yeah, this is just a regular play. Maybe the first touchdown doesn't have a review. Alright, whatever. So, next drive. We're not doing super well. We lose a yard with Connor. And man, James Conner, he tried today. He really did. He did okay. Like, he would get nothing, 10 yards. Nothing, 10 yards. Nothing, -3, 10 yards. Not 10, it's like 6 and 8. But so he came out of the game still averaging above 3. Which is kind of what I see as the minimum requirement. But I'm still surprised that our coaches aren't using Snell or number 14. Who's that fast dude? The new guy. Mc something. I'll remember his name later. I don't know why they're not using them at all, except for special teams, but there's gotta be a reason. I refuse to think our coaches are stupid enough to leave people with that skill set on the sidelines for no reason. Anyway, they get a DPI right here. And that gives us a great field position. And then Ben throws it short to Claypool. Claypool runs to the first down and starts fighting through it. And he doesn't cover up the football. He just fights. Then they don't have that one on the replay list either. He fights. He tries to get through it, but the second dude to come in to hit him just knocks the ball loose. Ravens recover. Fortunately for us, So did Lamar Jackson. So they run the ball right up our throat again. Run, huge run. Like, we cannot stop the run at this point, and it's becoming apparent this is going to be a problem. Especially when Dobbins, man, he tore us up in the first half. So Lamar Jackson's dropping back to throw it for the first time on this drive. And Bud Dupree makes a second effort at snapping the ball. He gets around the edge, swings for the ball, misses, swings for the ball a second time. Just barely manages to knock it out of his hand. Right here. Just barely.
And I think that you can run inside now for Baltimore.
2nd and 6. Jackson has the ball knocked out of his hands. Still down. Fight for it at the 3, and I think the Steelers have it.
That's why they don't blow the whistle. They're not sure, right? But this is...
And we recovered. Thank fucking God.
I think this is a fumble, Jerry. It looked like it.
Here's the good review. You see, just barely got it right here, and the hand goes forward at this point. So his elbow was here. If it had been here, it was a fucking incomplete pass. Looking to see if... Nope. Okay. So yeah. We got lucky there, right? They fucked up, and we got the ball back. But then we go right into a punt. 9-yard run by Connor, incompletion. 4-yard run, punt. I don't like our team's tendency to run on 3rd and 10, especially running it with Connor. Connor's a fantastic back. He really is. But he's not a scat back. He's a nose to the ground power guy with enough quickness to weave between tackles. He's not really a guy you throw a toss to and have him cut the corner and sprint upfield. That's what we got McLeod for. That's his name, River McLeod. But we're not using him at all. Baltimore gets the ball, and they go, not technically 3 and out, but they go first down, and then sack, incompletion, 3-yard pass, punt. 2 drives of what we expected this entire game to be. Punt, field goal, game over. That is not what happened. Our next drive, we run the ball well on the first play. 2 good passes. Unfortunately, we fumbled, but we recovered it. And then incompletion, punt. That was the story of our offense in the first half of this game. We could not do anything. Know at this point that we're 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Our 1 touchdown is a defensive pick 6. Other than that, I think on offense at this point we have what? 9 yards, 21 yards. What is that? 39 yards or something like? Yeah, 39 yards. We have 39 total yards in 20 minutes of football. Then the Ravens get the ball back. You'll notice a trend here on this drive that started to pick up a lot during this game. 25-yard run.
Lamar's already been sacked 3 times in this game. He hands it off for a big game by Gus Edwards all the way out to the 46.
And honestly, it was the blocking. Watch. See right here? You can already tell. We have the outside blocked off with TJ Watt. We've got Dupree over here. He cut it off. We got Stephon Tuitt, I believe, right here. And Bugs right here. Bugs came in for Tyson Alualu when he got hurt. So Bugs just was not able to push. So he just kept leaving these holes. Like TJ cut this entire side of the field off. This dude cannot go over here. It's Bugs' job to cut Bug and Tyson. Or Bugs' job to cut this side of the field. Stephon's job to cut this side of the field, and his job to cut this side of the field. It's a lot more complicated than that, but generally speaking, that's where they need to be. Bugs isn't doing anything. He's, 3-4 yards away from the play. This is a really good block on Spillane. This is a really good block on Vince Williams. Then Mink is right here, and they get run down by Joe Hayden eventually. It was just... This is the story of the first half. Right up the gut. Just boom. Sorry, it was Hayward and Bugs that play, not Tuitt. I mean Bug. You know what I mean. And it was just, that was the story of the first half, right? They would just get the ball and run it up our throat. Where's it at? Right here. So 25 yards, 6 yards, 12 yards, 3, 14, 3, 11, 5. Look at this. Big play, big play, big play, normal run, normal run, big run, or big pass. I mean, this one's just a normal pass. Normal run, bigger than normal, but normal run. And then they just get a touchdown. Just right up the middle. And of course, they have Justin Tucker, the best kicker the NFL's probably ever seen. So we're down 14-7. Whatever, recoverable game. We got 5 minutes left. We can do this. Incompletion. 18-yard run for Connor. Maybe we're going to get something. 6-yard run for Connor. Maybe we're going to get something. James Conner, 13-yard run. And this is where some crazy shit went down. Okay. So a lot of people don't know how rules work in the NFL. And this is, I think, going to be one of those situations where a lot of people who haven't actually read the rule book will look at this play and think, well, they should have just let it go. And I agree, if that was an option, they should have just let it go. The issue is, it's not an option in this situation. So what happened? James Conner runs around the right. He gets tackled. Whatever. It's a loss. On the side blocking, one of their corners and one of our receivers gets into it. I don't want to get into who started it because you'd never know what is being said. You just know who threw the first punch. And the first punch isn't the person who started it usually. So they get into it, and the refs apparently were going to just let it, personal foul on both teams. They offset. Result of the play is a -2. That would have been the normal thing that happened. Unfortunately for them, Judon, I believe their nose tackle or maybe their defensive end or new linebacker, I'm not super familiar with Baltimore, is in there trying to break shit up. And some dude's got a hold of his arm, and he jerks it free, and his hand, I think it was his right arm, swings out, and a 300-pound professional athlete punches a 60-year-old referee in the arm. Just punches him like that, like right here. I can't really see again. Yeah, you can. Just wham. And the referee, I mean, I see a lot of people saying, oh, he took a dive. Dude, the guy's 65 years old. He doesn't get anything out of falling on the ground. They're going to pay him for this injury no matter what. No, what happened is it hurt. He's a referee and it hurt. The referees are probably aware it wasn't intentional. In the video, you can tell it was obviously not intentional. He's probably not even going to get fined. He's definitely not going to get suspended for hitting a ref. But in the rules of the NFL, it clearly states that for any reason, you are ejected from the game, and the situation is immediately reported to the commissioner. And it specifically says for any reason, and that the penalties against referees are separate from penalties against players. As in, if you have a 15-yard penalty and a 15-yard penalty and they offset, normally, no matter how many penalties one side of the ball has and how many penalties the other side of the ball has, if either side has even one, if it's 10-1 or 1-10 or 1-1, they all offset, and the result of the play is whatever the play was. With an injury, with a hit to a official, those things are still like that, and there's an additional punishment after that. So in this case, it's the 15-yard gain, which turned out to a 13-yard gain. And the ejection, which is... It is kind of bullshit, but it's also the way the rules are written. And until somebody changes how the rules are written, that's how they're going to be enforced. I agree, by the way, that that is not something that he should have been ejected for. I think that rule should at least be reviewable before ejections are made. But it's not, and he was. It's part of the game, really. By the way, injuries were brutal in this. The left tackle, who just signed a $112 million deal like 2 days ago for the Ravens, broke his ankle. He's out for the season. They lost their right guard. We might have lost both of our nose tackles. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, after all that drama, James Conner, he runs it again. Decent run. Incomplete pass. False start. Sack. Whatever, right? We're gonna punt. They surely don't have it. Oh, wait, we gave it to them with 3.5 minutes to go. So, run, incompletion, run, penalty, run, pass, incompletion, pass, run, pass, field goal. Like, they just ran it down our throat, and we couldn't even slow them down. It was almost humiliating. But that's how it goes into half, right? The Baltimore's up by 10. Our only points are from a pick six, like 35 seconds into the game. We've got, I think we had 62 yards of total offense or something like that. We've had a few defensive stops, but they were moving. They were moving on us hard. And we come out halftime and things look bad. So we come out of halftime, first play, bomb to Juju Smith-Schuster, 24 yards, looked great. Everybody's like, "Fuck yeah, here we go." And apparently Pittsburgh decided to change scheme up because we're getting manhandled on defense and our offense isn't doing anything. So we run the no huddle. 38-year-old quarterback running a no huddle for half a game. All right, let's do it. Incompletion, punt. Man, we were having a bad day. But then, first fucking play of Baltimore's next drive. Rookie, third-round draft pick, Alex Highsmith, just high points the football on a play he said in an interview after the game. The Ravens ran this play in the first half, and the only reason he couldn't do it, he got beat, right? He didn't step back far enough in coverage, and the ball went right over his head. He saw them in the same formation, and he just stepped back like 2 more steps, high points that football, interception. Where's it at? Right here.
Justice Hill is in the game for the first time as Jackson is intercepted. My goodness. Intercepted by Highsmith.
You're going to come out and they think you're going to run it, so you're trying to be a little ahead of the curve. But this ball, I mean, really shouldn't be thrown. Highsmith high points it and goes up and gets that. And what a monster play.
No kidding. Change of momentum, everything.
You can see in that review, Lamar Jackson knew where he was going with the ball before he threw the ball. Like, he had decided his target instantly. So we got the ball on like the 17-yard line, 20-yard line, something like that. In the first play of offense, or second play of offense, I think we did a 4-yard run.
Wide open lane to the end zone.
Ebron. Nothing to even show about that. They just lost track of, they messed up something on their coverage. Just they didn't cover the entire right side of the field, so he just walks in. Lucky play for us. Bad play for the Ravens, and that was kind of the story of how we won, is the Ravens making a mistake rather than us playing well. We got a penalty on the kickoff, extra point, and Boswell had to kick it twice. Whatever, he was good for it. Then something interesting happened. Baltimore ran the football badly. 2-yard, 4-yard incompletion because Spillane broke it up. The guy who replaced Bud Dupree. Nice. As you can see here, we do a good drive-ish. So on our next possession, 1-yard run, not great. Notice it's still Connor. We haven't touched the football to a receiver. We haven't given the football to any of the other 3 running backs on the team. And the only one of those 3 I think probably shouldn't get the ball is Jalen Samuels, because he's kind of terrible and a wasted roster spot. Eric Ebron. Whew. Man, I'm so glad we have Ebron on the team now. Ben throws it deep to McLeod. Penalty on Bonds for DPI. This is something the Ravens are second worst in the league at, and they showed that today. They are the second worst team in the NFL for penalties. Against, anyway. They get tons of defensive penalties. Not as many on offense, really. They're pretty stable on offense, with the exception of like a few holding calls because they have a really bad O-line. But honestly, they have terrible cornerbacks in terms of... They're great cornerbacks in terms of skill and ability. They're terrible in terms of discipline. They're very wild, and that works really well unless you have a veteran quarterback who knows how to force you into a DPI, which is what Ben did, basically. I think they gave up like over 100 yards defensive penalties. He was using the referees as players, just throwing the ball deep, knowing that the cornerback was going to hold. Claypool for 9. Claypool for 8. Sack. What's this? Okay, James Conner. All right. And then a 7-yard pass. Terrible run. I remember this one. Conner ran all the way to the fucking sideline, and the whole defensive line for the Ravens just basically grabbed our offensive linemen and marched them across the field. There was nowhere for Conner to go. Then he throws it right in the middle to Juju. Juju balls up, runs over 2 dudes, gets to like the 1-inch line, is pushing through, and finally 3 people drag him down right on the edge. It was, man, he fought. But then James Conner just walks into the end zone. It was a good drive, honestly. It was a really good drive. We manipulated their weaknesses, which is their cornerbacks' discipline, and used it to move the ball. That's something you don't see a lot of rookie quarterbacks do because they don't know how to throw the football properly to do that. A lot of times, to do that, to get a DPI, you don't throw the ball at your receiver. You throw the ball over your receiver. Like you intentionally miss, but the ref's still going to call it. Then the Ravens get the ball. They don't do super well in this one. They get a run. They get a good pass. But this is something... I've watched a lot of reviews of this today. And it's something I think I agree with. The Ravens start getting momentum, and then they throw it. I don't know why. Lamar Jackson is not a very good quarterback. He's a great running back who can throw a football. He's not a quarterback who can run. At least in my opinion. Everything I've seen, I don't consider Lamar Jackson a phenomenal quarterback. I consider him a phenomenal running back with a good arm. And that's kind of what I saw today. So Dobbins run, incompletion. And then Lamar Jackson tried to scramble, and TJ Watt was just not having any of it. So they had to punt from the 50. Unfortunately, we are terrible in this game. We give Anthony McFarland the ball. He's a fast receiver, man. Or he's either the receiver or the running back. I get those two mixed up, McFarland and McLeod. He's running down the left side, around the left end, and left tackle, I mean. And he's got green fields for days. And you can see the energy in him. He moves his feet so fast that he steps on his own feet and trips himself at like a 1 or 2 yard gain. Let's see if it's on here. Nope. And yeah, he just 1 yard. He cripples himself, and we throw 2 incompletions and punt. And then Baltimore breaks us. 3 yard run. That's not bad. 7 yard sack. Good job to it. And then Lamar Jackson acts like Patrick Mahomes for a play. Hold on, let me rewind it.
Third quarter dominated by Pittsburgh, but now Jackson trying to change things. He's got a man open at the 22.
Wide the fuck open.
Turns around and makes the catch.
Look at this. Okay, so this is who he throws the ball to. We're in cover 3. 1, 2, 3 corner, 3 DBs back in zone. These 2 dudes are in zone up front. Middle of the field's open. 90% of the time, I expect Lamar Jackson to scramble here. But our defense was playing very disciplined. You can see this side's cut here, this guy's cut here, and Dupree is basically making a spy. So there's really nowhere for him to scramble. So Lamar Jackson throws.
Right there.
He's throwing at this point. He's begun his throwing motion. He's not open yet, but he can see, right? This dude has no momentum. This dude's going top speed. He sees it, I believe, and I think he's about to shift. This guy, I'm not sure about. Yeah, that's what I thought. So he's already moving over. That is, God, what is our strong safety, or our free safety's name? Terrell Edmonds, that's it. That's Terrell Edmonds right here. And man, he's just, he's so open. Look at that. If he had been able to hit him in stride, that's 6. But he underthrew this ball severely.
And that is outstanding design coming out.
Not like it mattered. They had the touchdown. So they get big. We stop them. Then they get Lamar Jackson. I wish I could show this replay. This play by Lamar Jackson was so good. Holy shit. He was about to get sacked, broke a sack, scrambled up through like 2 or 3 defensive linemen, got past 1 linebacker, sprinted straight down the middle of the field, dodged 2 defensive backs, and then jumped over a safety, kind of, into the end zone. That's some video game shit. But the only reason he was able to break it out at all in the first place was because they held our defensive lineman. One of like 2 or 3 holding penalties called all game. And it had to be a bad hold because they were letting the offensive line hold on both sides of the field. I was watching people on our team and their team get held all game long, and I think they only called it twice. I can't believe the announcers I didn't hear commenting on it. It was blatant. He throws it to Willie Snead. What are you gonna do?
Now 2nd and 22. Takes the short stuff to Snead.
Just wide open in the middle of the field. Fitzpatrick ran him down. It's the weakness of a zone defense. If the offense has the right play called, a zone defense will do nothing effectively. There's always a hole, and he found it. We were in cover 2, and he was just right in the fucking weakness of the defense. And then a 3-yard run, incompletion, and then a touchdown up the middle for just right on the goal line. You guys have seen 3-yard touchdown throws. So we get the ball, and Ray McLeod gets it out to the 22. Okay, what are you gonna do, right? It's the 22. Incompletion. 9-yard pass. Fuck. We're on 3rd and 1. This is where we've been all game long. Every time we're on 3rd and short, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. Incompletion. That's what it's been all day. All game. Not this time, man. Ray McLeod catches that football and right in the middle of the field and runs across the field and up the far left sideline as he's getting tackled by Humphrey. No, Bonds. Yeah, Bonds just tackles him normally, just a good solid wraparound tackle. The other dude, Clark, comes in and grabs him by the face mask and like twists his head around, gives him 15 more yards. So then Ben starts doing what Ben's been wanting to do all game. 4-yard pass, 5-yard pass, 2-yard pass, just boom, boom, boom. Then they do it. Then it's the same thing again, right? He sees Claypool. Claypool runs a go route just straight up the middle or straight up the sideline, and Ben just chucks it over his head and out of bounds. So he could technically probably stop moving and do a full vertical leap and catch it, but the defender doesn't have a hope. Claypool's 6'4", and the defensive guy just grabs Claypool's arm. Again, defensive pass interference. They're the team in the NFL second worst at committing it. They're terrible at defensive discipline. First down. Then 11-yard pass to Schuster again. And then 8-yard touchdown, like right over Claypool's shoulder in the back corner of the end zone. He's wide the fuck open. Nothing. Easy points. Back in the lead, 21-17, I believe, at this point. Oh, no, this point was 28. Oh, it wasn't. Was it? Oh, it was. Yeah, it was 28-24. Okay, this is the drive that gave me my first heart attack of the game. Kickoff, and then this is where they do it again. This is what they should have done all game long if they wanted to beat us, but for some reason, their offensive coordinator, or whoever's calling their offensive plays in Baltimore, is getting paid a lot more than he's worth, I'll say that shit. I think this is the only drive where they actually did this. As if for some reason they thought it just wouldn't work. 7-yard run. And to be clear, 90% of the time, and this will not work on Thanksgiving, Pittsburgh's going to be more ready for this. We didn't have 2 weeks to prep, but in this game, it would have worked. 7-yard run, 4-yard run, 9-yard run, 5-yard run, 20-yard run, 15-yard run, 3-yard run, 2-yard run, 2-yard run. Like, they were just going big, 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 huge, huge. And then right here, you can see it, right? Big, 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 big. And then right here, Bugs just decided he was going to become a very good defensive tackle. That's the guy who replaced Tyson Alualuo whenever he got hurt. He's been shit all game. Right here, he stops to play basically 3 or 4 plays in a row. So he just locks up the middle. Bud Dupree gets the tackle. He locks up the middle. Fitzpatrick and Highsmith come down and get the tackle. This time, Bugs gets the tackle himself. And then the Ravens lock up. And they try to send Lamar Jackson on a dive. He doesn't make it on the first one. The first push. He's coming back around for a second effort. And there's a fucking hole, right? He's going to go dive through that shit. And Minkah Fitzpatrick comes in and hits that football right out of his hand, and Robert Spillane recovers it. I know that's going to be on here. Yeah, here it is.
These 4 guys are like, we can run this right here, but right in the middle is Bugs, who we talked about this matchup.
Right here, this guy is who's been getting his ass whipped all goddamn game. Right here, he holds the center. All game, the center's pushed him out of the way. This whole field is wide open. He easily gets the first, maybe a touchdown. This time around, the stars fucking align because he holds that goddamn center in place like he's supposed to. And he even manages to get off the tackle and wrap this dude up. And he holds him there long enough for these two to come up and knock that football out. Honestly, probably better for us if he doesn't do that, because we get better field position. But whatever. Knocks the football out. Spillane catches it because they don't know that he didn't get forward progress. So it makes sense that they want the fumble. He gets that football though. So yeah, that's where we were, and man, that was hard to take number 1. I'm like, yeah, we got this shit, right? Thinking to myself, all we gotta do is get a first down. We get 1, maybe 2 first downs. We win this game, 7-0. We're fucking golden. James Conner, 3-yard run. James Conner. I'm sorry. Deontay Johnson's only catch of the game, right in the middle for 6. He gets stopped like not even a full yard away. And then James Conner gets just bodied, man. Calais Campbell just wraps him up and he does nothing. I think it was actually Queen that did, not Calais Campbell. Right, it was both of them. So we punt. We punt to the Ravens. They have, I think they just had the 52 seconds left, because they used all their timeouts right here. Lamar Jackson incomplete. Fuck yeah. Lamar Jackson, 8 yards up the middle to Dobbins. Whatever, we're fine. Incompletion. They're on 4th and 2. They're on 4th and 2, and this happens. They're on 4th and 2 with no timeouts, to be clear. They don't even have a way to stop the clock. And we gave him so much time in the pocket. I mean, he's obviously about to get hit. I think he even gets hit. Yeah. But this dude is wide open in the middle of our zone again. I think part of the problem here is teams get to study everybody gets to study everybody's tape of their 22 on 22, and whenever your team lives in zone, it becomes obvious not obvious, but it becomes easier to tell which formations have holes where. And if the play breaks down, the receiver's just got to scramble. The better ones will know where to go, where to find that soft spot. And this guy, Snead, was fucking on it. Snead was on that shit all game, man. He knew where to go. So, oh, hold on. Anyway, he throws it. They get up there and they spike it. 8 seconds left. They sit back. Boom, bomb. incomplete. TJ Watt in coverage. Then Lamar Jackson at our 23-yard line just chooks it right into the end zone. And it was basically a Hail Mary play, right? And I think you're going to hear a lot of Ravens fans. I think you're going to hear a lot of Ravens fans complain about DPI on this one. And I want to explain, so you can explain to your friends and Ravens friends, why it isn't DPI on this play. So Lamar he's just throwing the football. We've got this guy in for some reason. I'm not sure why he's in on this play. Oh, Cam got injured. Cameron Hayward was injured on the play before this. And I hope he's okay. So Lamar just sits back and lobs it. Notice he didn't lob this. He did a streak pass. Just bullet that shit right into the end zone. Rocket fire like a rocket. I think that might have been part of the problem here. But, so this guy playing the football. Let me rewind it so you can see it in time. Lamar. There it is. I don't know if you could see it. But 31 and 39. Fitzpatrick and our cornerback here were both playing the football. As was the Ravens guy. So if these two had been targeting the Ravens guy with this ref right here, and they just hit the Ravens guy as the ball came in, unless they timed it perfectly, that is a penalty. That is DPI. The Ravens get another play. They probably get a touchdown and win. You just got to have Lamar Jackson jump over the pile. But instead, both of them went for a pick, which makes them receivers with him. And so any body contact that is incidental isn't an offensive play or a penalty play. And that's why they didn't get penalized. They were both playing the ball, not the receiver. I'm actually surprised they let the clock expire. I think the Ravens actually had another second. I want to see if they play the replay. If they do, I think right here. This is what I wanted to see. I don't know. See this guy right here in the top left? I don't know how open he was when Lamar threw the football. But it looks like he was pretty goddamn open, right? So I think Willie Snead had been targeted so much by Lamar Jackson. Every big play of this game, every big catch has been Willie Snead. That it looks like the Steelers' safeties just started playing Willie Snead. This is Boykin right here. And Jackson just didn't see him. He's wide the fuck open. I don't have... Whew. See, this is a much better angle, actually. See, he's going for the football. And he hits him right as the football gets there. So this is incidental contact. And this ball that's obviously within 5 yards, that's not a penalty. Anyway, yeah.
It's a perfect throw, but these guys are staring at you 30 yards, 25 yards away.
Watch Minka Fitzpatrick come in. Blow it up.
Whew, that hurt. That hurt both of them a lot.
Steeler victory.
So yeah. That's where that is. And then that's the end of the game. We won. Yay. We gave up. Whew. If you're a stats guy, you did not want to take Pittsburgh's defense this week in your fantasy team. Total yards, they doubled us. Not quite literally, but only off by 5. Passing yards, they beat us. Rushing yards, they shit stomped us. 265. They almost had 3 people go over 100 yards in this game. Lamar Jackson, 65 rushing. Edwards, 87 rushing. The rookie, 113 rushing. The real issue for them, turnovers. Right here, 2-0, and fumbles lost 2-0. We were +3 in turnover differential, and we won by 4 points. That's all it was. They had the ball for 11 minutes more, and they had penalties. They had so many penalties on defense. They have no discipline. So yeah, that's where we are. Yeah. As to the trade for Avery Williamson, he's a 28-year-old middle linebacker with a good speed, good experience. He's a starter and has been a starter before. He's been in the league for several years, like 5 or 6. We've got a 24-year-old with 1 year of experience as a practice squad. We have a 24-year-old with 1 year experience as a backup. and we have an injured 24-year-old with a butt or a back problem, and an injured 23-year-old with a torn ACL. So we're down 2 of our 4, and those 2 are 24 years old with no real game experience outside of the last 3 weeks. So we're bringing in a new guy, a third guy, who's got 5 or 6 years of experience and 2 years or so as a starter. I think he's going to come in as relief in the passing game. It looks like he's going to come in as relief in the passing game, and maybe it's run support for whenever Spillane might need a break. Because Ulysses Gilbert was looking like he was going to be our pass coverage middle linebacker while Bud's injured. But he fucked up his back again. Same thing that happened to him last season. And so they bring in this guy. I don't expect any more trades to happen. Pittsburgh's never been big on trades. Like the one last year for Minka was more of a draft pick. I think we traded a first-round draft pick for a 23-year-old safety. That's more of us just drafting the safety. This one we're giving them a 5th-round pick for an experienced, quick middle linebacker who apparently fits our scheme, and a 7th-round draft pick from a team that's going to have a very high draft pick. So yeah, I think that's overall a pretty good trade. At the end of the day, regardless of what stats say, regardless of these little blue bars, right? Like this is what it says: Ravens beat us. Ravens beat us. Ravens beat us. Ravens beat us. We beat the Ravens here. We beat the Ravens here. We beat the Ravens here. Ravens beat us. Ravens beat us. We beat the Ravens here. So in all the metrics that matter, yardage, average yards per play, and we lost to those, or substantially lost. We beat them in turnovers, and we beat them in sacks. But in the one that matters more than anything else, we won. And that's kind of where I'm at. Are we the best team in football? No, we're not. Are we still good enough to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. Because we still haven't played a good football game yet. All this season, we're 7-0, and Pittsburgh has not played a single good football game. How is that even a thing? Every game we play, we let here, let me pull it up. Steelers schedule. Right here. The closest to a good game we've had so far was the Browns. But I'll get to that in a second. So the Steelers beat the Giants by 10 points in the week 1. Offensively, we didn't do anything at all that game. We ran the football okay, but our passing game was non-existent. Broncos, passing game, non-existent. Texans, passing game, non-existent. Eagles, running game, non-existent. The Browns game, defensively, we were motherfucking wrecking them. That was it. We beat them on defense so badly, it looks like the score looks worse than the game. No, the score looks about as bad as the game was, but I don't expect this to be a repeat because they're just playing way, way better now. So in January when we play them again, I'm not expecting to see that kind of thing again. The Titans, everybody knows what happened with the Titans. We go up 27 points in the first half, and then we don't get a single point for the rest of the game and damn near lose it. And today, the Ravens, we didn't have a good offensive possession until halfway through the third quarter. I don't know how the fuck we won today. Next week, we have a Cowboys team that I want to say we should be able to handle handedly. But last year, we played the Cowboys, and Ezekiel Elliott beat the shit out of our team, even with our defense. So I'm saying if we can get our rush defense back after giving up 265, we'll be fine. Then we play Joe Burrow in Pitt. That's going to be interesting. We haven't played the Bengals yet. I expect we win, but the Bengals did just beat the shit out of the Rams, I believe it was. Maybe it wasn't the Rams. Who was it? No, the Rams lost to the Dolphins. Yeah, the Bengals just beat the Titans. So that's going to be more competitive than I think I want it to be. This should be a free win. This should be a pretty easy win. So I think we have 3 straight games that are very winnable. We should be 10-0 when we play the Ravens in Pittsburgh. This is going to be our biggest challenge yet, I think. Because we're going to have the same amount of time to prep as them, but they're also going to be much more ready for our defense. We'll be much more ready for their offense. The Washington football team, I don't expect much out of them. This game I don't want to call until I know how the Bengals play, because AFC West teams always plays different than the record state whenever they're playing other AFC West teams. I mean AFC North, sorry. Somewhat Chiefs earlier. The Colts team. This is going to be an interesting game. Phillip Rivers is not a great quarterback, but Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback. And a good quarterback with the defense the Colts have is a sneaky Super Bowl contender. Like, I haven't heard anybody say that yet, but a lot of teams with a okay, good quarterback have won Super Bowls on the back of their defense, and their quarterback just not giving the game away. And that's what the Colts look like this year. The Browns I'm not worried about because I genuinely don't think Baker Mayfield can beat us, and I don't think their running game is anywhere near the caliber of the Ravens, just because their scheme is so different than the Ravens. The Ravens beat us because they switched to a zone run out of nowhere. None of these teams play a zone run except the Cowboys. And I think after this game, we're going to look at this one as a fucking get-right game. So yeah, that's where I stand on everything. Let me know about my ignorant opinions and follow me on YouTube. Later, guys. Have a good night.